Hey guys, this episode of the Ride Life podcast is brought to you by NightOwlRides.com. If you want premium motorcycle content, go follow his YouTube page at Night Owl Rides, his Instagram at Night Owl Rides, and head over to NightOwlRides.com and get yourself some premium merch, t-shirts, shirts, hats, all kinds of goodies on there. Check them out, NightOwlRides.com.
Hey, season 2, we're back. The Ride Life podcast. We're back for season 2. And we took a little break. We're back. Jimmy's still tired. I'm full of energy because I don't do anything all day except for stare at motorcycles. But what's up, Jim? How you been?
It's good. It was a good weekend, good New Year's, good holiday. Did you do anything fun over the New Year's or what?
No, not really. It's damn cold up here right now. It's like 15 degrees. 30-mile-an-hour winds every single day. It's no fun.
It's nasty. Did you make it? Did you make it to midnight? That's the question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have a job.
I set an alarm. I set an alarm for 11:55 and went to bed.
You're so old.
Hey, listen, man. I did a full day yesterday. I got up at 5:00. I had a pool tournament. Team tournament to win a trip to Las Vegas, and I was there at 10 a.m. and I got home at 2:30. So that's a pretty full day for me.
Yeah, that's yeah. I haven't talked to you. So how was your Christmas, New Year's?
Yeah, it was good. Christmas was nice and relaxing. We got some Chinese food, stayed home, watched some movies. New Year, same thing. Just hung out. I don't do much on New Year's.
Santa bring you any Christmas motorcycle parts?
No motorcycle parts. I got new sunglasses.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was cold today, and I think Rody was riding today. He texted me earlier, so I don't know how he made it.
He invited me. He invited me to go out today, and I was like, yeah, ugh. No, thank you. Not in this cold.
The only motorcycle thing I did over this little break we had was I went to a swap meet yesterday. So they had that swap meet in Haverhill. I went down there and I picked up. So I got the shovel head all apart. I don't even know. I have no idea where I'm going to go with this. So I went down to the swap meet. Me and my buddy Bob. I bought, I think, 3 different rear fenders, a seat, an exhaust, and some other little things. Just stuff to try on the bike, see what I like. And I actually bought this chrome. I don't know if it was a front fender or if it was a rear fender, but it's a chrome fender for $5, and I think that's the piece that I'm going to run on the shovel. So we'll be back out in the garage tomorrow.
Well, I saw you had those orange rims on there. That looked pretty good. Is that going to be a permanent, or is that just?
I think so. I figured I had those orange wheels powder coated. They came out so good. I didn't want to paint over them or have them redone, so I put them up on the shelf. And then the shovel, that tank and fender was already powder coated that same orange color. So I figured just combine them together.
Yeah, it looks good. I liked it. When I saw that, I was like, damn, I'm like, that looks nice.
Yeah. So, but I already ruined the rear fender. So the rear fender's not going to be orange anymore. So that's gone. But anyways.
Is that bike going to get together for Daytona?
It might be together for Daytona, but I'm not bringing it to Daytona.
No.
I think that'll make its debut probably around maybe Laconia. I might take it, so when I break down, I'm not that far from home.
Yeah, you got a lot of phone numbers for people up there. If you break down, you're not going to have to go too far. So
yeah. So,
but hey, I mean, listen. It's 2025. It's a new year. It's a new season. What are you looking forward to most this year?
Just warm weather and Daytona. I mean, I don't know how many days, but we're January 5th. So, I mean, you're better at math. So you got 28 days in February, 26 days left here. So we're talking 54 days left of Daytona. So
roughly 50. Yeah, I know you always get excited. So we're gonna let you talk about Daytona this year, and we're gonna let you talk about it soon because it's coming up, and I know how excited you get. And part of the reason I didn't want to let you talk about it is because I'm jealous because I'm not going and I've never been. But I'm looking forward to 2025. Like I'm looking forward to see like kind of where we go with this and what events we're going to actually get to. I know we have big dreams. We want to get to a lot of different events this year. I'm hoping we can make them all work. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping we can make it to some events, meet some people, partner up with some people. I don't really care about sponsorships or any of that crap. Just making partnerships and helping people build their business or whatever, and just growing and just meeting new people. Yeah.
Right. So when we started this podcast, I kind of like started branching out and I started following more Instagram users and things like that and watching people ride. And I've talked about it on here. I like a lot of the ladies that ride because I think they're doing some really cool stuff and I think they're inspiring young women to ride. So I started following this woman. I don't want to say girl. I feel like that's probably demeaning. She's a grown ass woman. But I mean, she was at a bunch of events. She had a bunch of cool like videos. She's got a cool Road King. And I messaged her a couple times just commenting on things and she always got back. She's always like, oh, hey, thanks, blah, 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 like this or whatever. So I was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? So she is our first guest tonight. I'll let her shout out her Instagram if she wants to, but her name is Dani. She lives in Florida, which already makes me jealous of her because it's probably 50 degrees warmer there right now.
At least it's South Florida, I think. So.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting to know her. So I'm gonna shoot her a text. She's gonna come on. She's gonna join us.
Right.
So.
Wow, starting off season 2 with a guest first episode. This is
I know. I'm fired up. And like what's cool is like I think she's a newer rider, and I think she made that transition from passenger to rider. So I'm interested to hear her story.
Right.
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Welcome on.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect. I can hear that too.
So that's the first time I've used my laptop.
Nice. Hold on, I gotta adjust my volume on my side because it's cranked. There we go. All right, welcome in. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on, now I gotta adjust my volume. Okay, there we go.
All right, perfect. So, first of all, I bet it's a lot warmer down there than it is here.
A little bit. Today was pretty chilly. I actually did a ride today over to the other coast of Florida, and we started off, and it was probably like in the 50s. So, I mean, it's warmer than you guys, but it was pretty chilly for us.
Yeah. I think it's about 27 here now. What's it up by you, Bri?
I just got back. It's like 15 degrees right now.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, and the wind is blowing. It's not fun out there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So.
Well, I have a guy that lives near me that we met through this, and he was out riding today. He's got all the heat.
Was that the guy that you had on your podcast the last time, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Rodeo.
Yeah. Listen to him. I was like, oh my goodness. It's freaking awesome.
He's a different breed.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I mean, I got to give him credit. He's out there doing it.
Yep.
So I want to kind of hear, Dani, about your transition. You were a passenger first, right? Am I remembering this
barely
correctly?
So my husband's been riding like his whole life. I was a passenger maybe like 3 or 4 times in our entire relationship, which is about like 10 years. Last year I went to Bike Week in Daytona, and my girlfriend Leah, She Glide, I follow, she's on my page all the time. She was the one that was always like, oh, you got to get a bike. And then when I went to Daytona, I was like, I got to get a bike. So I literally left. No, this wasn't Bike Week. This was Biketoberfest because it was October.
Okay.
November, I went and took the class in the beginning of November. By the end of November, I had a bike and just been riding ever since.
So that was what? November what?
November last year.
Oh, wow. So you're like really...
I'm brand spanking new.
So you got that Road King now. Was that your first
bike? So it was very intimidating. I got on it, and it was funny because I got on it and I was like, I think we made a mistake. And my husband's like, we did not make a mistake. He's like, I'm not spending money on a Sportster and then buying you a bigger bike later on. So I was like, all right, we can do this.
Well, that's what happens usually.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what he said. He's like, you're going to outgrow this bike in like 6 months, and then we're going to be having to spend more money. So had a few wipeouts. I did some donuts in the driveway and a couple little falls, but nothing big.
Brian's a big fan of doing the burnouts and donuts in the driveways.
Yeah, I totally whiskey throttled that, and I couldn't figure out why my bike was just spinning around in circles. And my husband's like, just let off the throttle. I was like, oh, okay. It was terrible. There's still a donut design in our driveway.
I have a few of those in my driveway too.
Yeah.
So you've been riding, a little over a year. How many? Because you did some pretty good riding this year. I've seen some trips.
I put on
Tennessee.
Almost 10,000 miles.
It's more than you and me, Jim, put together.
Yeah, no, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah. But it might be close.
Yeah, so I took my first big trip. What was it? October. My husband and we rode from West Palm all the way up to Maryville, Tennessee, for the Smoky Mountain Bike Week. And then I had the bright idea that I wanted to get the Iron Butt. So we left from Maryville, rode over to Nashville to add an extra 200 miles, and then rode from Nashville all the way back down to West Palm.
Ooh. You got hit
23 hours and like 22 minutes.
Jeez.
Did you get pounded with rain?
Oh,
right? That was right around the
8 hours of rain. 8 hours of rain. When we hit Florida, it was just because Milton, the Hurricane Milton was coming in. So we were getting all the feeder bands on the way home. And I was just like, why are we doing this? And he's like, we got to just keep pushing. Got to keep pushing. I was literally sleeping next to trash cans on the turnpike. Like we would go as soon as the rest stop would come up, we'd stop, we'd fill up with gas. And I'm like, I need like a 5-minute nap. And I'd sleep for like 5 minutes next to the trash can. He's like, babe, we got to go. He's like, we got to get home. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was
that's some biker shit right there.
Well, it was terrible, but fun. It was so funny because we pulled into the driveway. I literally fell asleep on the bike. Like I shut it off. I just put my head down. I fell asleep. And he's like, let's go inside. We're completely soaked. Like our rain gear that we had worked for probably 6 hours. And then it just didn't work anymore. And we were just like soaked. It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But it was fun. The next day I was like, oh, you want to go for a bike ride? He's like, no, I think I need to recover right now.
Yeah. That's what riding's all about. Because my first ride, we went down to Virginia Beach. Same thing, got caught in rain on the Jersey Turnpike. It was miserable. And the next day I was ready to go for a ride because that's what it's about.
Yeah. We definitely get some rain down here in Florida, for sure.
Yeah, every day, right?
Pretty freaking. In the summertime, yes. Like, you can count on it. Like, 2 o'clock, it's raining. From 2 to 4, it's raining. Like, if it's not raining, it looks like it's going to rain.
Yeah. So, you said Daytona. You're going to go to Daytona this year in March?
Yeah, we're going to go. So, we're actually going February 28th through March 3rd. So, the first weekend of Bike Week. But that was like my first big ride, I guess, in a sense, like my long distance ride. So I got the bike in November. I practiced all the way until like March, and then I rode my bike in March to Daytona for the first time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Daytona's like my getaway, so I'll be there in March and
nice.
Finally get to ride, put some miles down, but
yeah, hopefully it's nice. Last year it was really nice. It was pretty. It was like perfect weather. Like it was high during the day and it was really chilly at night, so it was perfect.
Yep. I'll take anything above 50 at this point.
You'll definitely get that in March here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, Brian's been going, we figured about 19 years, right? Roughly.
I think so. I can't remember. 04, 05 was the first year. I can't really remember, but.
I was still in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Old bikers, and she's already put more miles on than us, and riding to Tennessee.
Oh, dude, I'm hooked. Like every day, like I'm like, can we go to the store on the bike? And he's like, we have saddlebags, babe. You need more than just milk. And I'm like, all right, I guess we can take the car. I was like, you've created a monster, so I freaking love it. It's one of the best feelings ever.
Oh, for sure. People don't, it's like therapy, wind therapy.
Oh,
they say
100%.
that. Yeah, and it's true. But
Did you grow up? Did you have four-wheelers or anything like that? Or your first exposure was your husband?
So I had a boyfriend that had a dirt bike in high school. So, I mean, I was on the back of a dirt bike for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. We used to have a side-by-side, and I mean, I've played around with four-wheelers, but we don't really have any. So this was kind of like my first, I was just like, fuck it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, you picked Road King's a good bike to start on.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I freaking love it. It's an awesome bike.
Yep. So you had that Memphis Shades fairing on, but now you got is that Advan Black?
Yeah, it's the Advan Black ST, the Lowrider ST fairing.
Yep. I like it.
It's awesome. It's freaking beautiful. And then we talked about putting like a sound system in it, but I wear a full face helmet. So for the most part, it's like I have my earbuds in, so I don't really know if I want to do the extra work and put speakers and everything in it.
Yeah, I don't blame it. Do you have a comm system for your helmet, like a Lexan or anything, or you just got?
I don't want to talk to anybody.
Well,
you need that to have a gas can that we can pull off. That's not it.
Yeah. Well, you can listen to music with it too, you know.
Yeah. So my first helmet, I had like the Cena was like built into it, and it was not loud enough. Like over like the engine and everything, like I couldn't hear talking. Like on the phone was perfect, but to listen to the music, it just wasn't loud enough for it. So I was like, screw it, and I just do headphones now.
I think that's how it is with all of them. I have that Lexan, the same thing.
Yeah,
you can hear the music okay. Then you get on the highway and you can't really hear anything. So it's
See, I need the music.
Yeah, the music is key.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
it's weird though because we found out that when you're wearing a full face helmet and you have like the speaker setup, you actually can still hear the speakers pretty good, and something about the helmet makes the music sound fuller, like it has like a bass to it almost.
I guess strange. I can see that. I didn't experience that with the Cena like at all. Like I was not happy with it. It was just very like it felt like the volume was turned all the way down, and I was just like, I need a little bit more oomph in that. I don't know about up there with you guys, but like down here, like music is key. Like everybody has some sort of sound system on their bike. And when we went up to Tennessee, we talked to a lot of people and they didn't have sound systems on their bike. And they said because of like the hills and the twists and the turns, majority of people are so focused on like riding that they didn't really do too much with music. As to where down here, it's just literally flat land. That's all there is to do is listen to music.
Oh yeah, trust me. My first times going down to Daytona, I'm not used to it. So we'd be walking down Main Street and just these baggers with these sound systems just playing on the sidewalk. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, they get pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty good. I've never really got that much into the audio, but I like having my Road Glide's got like a Bluetooth speaker, so good enough. But
I like it. Florida's home of the big wheel bagger, anyways. Like that whole scene is just
humongous. I have a buddy of mine, and he's got like a whole like group of them. They pull up to like the bike events, and it's like these wheels, they're outrageous. I'm like, I don't know how you guys turn corners, honestly. Like, it's crazy.
Pizza cutters, but they still get attention.
Yes, they do. They got the sound system and the big wheels, man. It looks good.
People love them. But hey, so when you were in Maryville, Tennessee, like everybody's been moving to Maryville, so. I haven't been out there yet. How was it out there, the riding?
Oh my God, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know what it's like up there for you guys, but like compared to where I'm at, it was freaking beautiful. Like we can't wait to go back. Like it was just like rolling hills and just beautiful scenery. Like absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. I think I take for granted sometimes the New Hampshire, like the New England riding, because last year I drove all the way out to Arizona for Bike Week.
Mm-hmm.
And the riding out there it's okay.
I was gonna say, it's probably flat too out there, isn't it?
It is flat, but then you get up into like the canyons, but it takes forever to get there, and you got to take highways. There's no real back roads like there is out there. So I don't know. And then I came home and I'm like, I'd just rather ride out here instead of driving across country.
Yeah, we're actually going to Vegas next week, and we talked about renting bikes to go ride through the canyons.
That might be fun. Go to the Hoover Dam and shit.
Yeah, just do it just for a little bit. So
yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we're going up there for 3 days, I believe. 3-4 days.
Yep.
That's the thing. Laconia Bike Week. I mean, that's what Laconia Bike Week's all about. Like, it's about the riding up through the White Mountains, and you can be in and out of New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massachusetts. And there's a lot of really good riding, a lot of 2-lane roads, elevation changes, and things like that. It's awesome. But we take it for granted because we're here all the time.
Yeah, we rode all the way over to like the West Coast for lunch today, and I think we had like 3 turns. Like that's it. Other than that, it was just straight open fields, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so boring. Like it's pretty, but it's boring at the same time.
Yeah, no, we go down, like I said, we go down there every year, and last year or the year before, we went out through like Ocala State Park.
Mm-hmm. Ocala is beautiful. Now if you go you get to like Orlando, which is about 2.5, 3 hours, depending on how you drive north of where I am. Once you get to Orlando, completely different. Like it doesn't look like the Florida I'm used to.
Okay.
North Florida is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause we made it over to the Gulf side. It was different. Yeah. Like you said, it's definitely different than Daytona.
We are actually riding up to, where are we going this year? We're going to Laconia this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
So
like 30,
we're gonna ride all the way up there, and then I told my husband, I was like, dude, like I think Niagara Falls is like 8 hours away. I was like, we might as well just go to Niagara Falls too. And he's like, okay, we'll go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, it's about 5 hours away, I'd say, from here.
Oh, even better. So 5 hours, that's like a day trip. Like anything, like I look at like 2 hours and I'm like, oh, that's totally doable. And he's like, we're going to go 2 hours for breakfast. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go 2 hours for breakfast. So 5, no big deal. We got that.
Yeah. I'm literally like 30 minutes from Laconia.
Nice.
So
we can meet up or something and you can show me
around. I was going to say, so you're definitely going to hit rain on your way up here. So when you get up here, you'll be soaking wet. Freaking dry all your clothes here at the house. And
there you go. Not that I'm not used to already.
They call it Rainconia, so it's gonna rain.
Well, that's funny because they call Florida the Sunshine State, but it rains all the time. So I don't know where the sunshine is.
But I think, Jim, did they actually move? I think they moved Laconia forward or back 1 week to try to.
I think it's back a week. I think it's back a week this year. Because in years past, like it was right around like the 12th was in the middle and Father's Day was the last day. And it feels late this year.
I thought it was like June 3rd is when.
June. It always ends on Father's Day. So whatever that is.
Oh, I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah. I don't either.
So this year it's June 14th to June 22nd.
Oh, I was way up.
Whereas in the last 3 or 4 years, the 12th has been right in the middle of Bike Week. So, and then Americade in New York is usually like the weekend before Laconia starts. So we're going to head out there too. We're going to do that because I always wanted to go out and ride the Adirondacks.
Oh.
And that's like 4 hours. That's like 4.5 hours from us.
Nice.
So
I feel like you guys are so much more like, it's like 4 hours out of a state, 2 hours out of this state. To get out of Florida, it's like 8 hours.
Oh, it's so small up here.
It's terrible. Like the majority of any trip that we go on is just getting out of Florida. And then driving through Georgia is not much better, honestly.
No. Like when I leave to go to Daytona, I'm in, Pennsylvania or New Jersey in like 6 hours. I've already gone through 6 states,
Yeah. And then you get to Florida and it's just like, oh, all right, here we go.
Or North Carolina and South Carolina. It's like, oh, God.
Yeah, we did the Blue Ridge Parkway in July for my birthday, I think it was. That was also beautiful. Oh, it was that was crazy.
See, you've been riding for a year and you're already doing all these rides that Jim and I have been talking about to do. So it's like,
well, we wanted to do Sturgis, but Sturgis falls right on the first day of school, in a sense, down here. So I was like, I can't just leave my kids on the first day of school right now. So we gotta wait for Sturgis.
I'm actually doing Sturgis this year for the first time.
Nice. So. I got a couple girlfriends that have done Sturgis, and it's just like every single time I watch all their videos, and I'm like, oh, can't wait to go.
So let's talk about Daytona because I love Daytona. So when you're going to be there for the first weekend?
Yes, February 28th through the 4th of March.
Oh, nice. I wonder if there's any, because I know there is an all-female bike show that Renegade Babes puts on. I don't know if is it that weekend. I'm not sure. Exactly.
I honestly haven't looked at the lineup for anything. that's when I can go with She Glide because I ride with her all the time.
Oh, right. Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. It don't matter. I mean, go to Destination Daytona. You go it's
yeah. We want to hit up like Cabbage Patch this year. We've never been the couple times we've been up there. We've never done Cabbage Patch or like Broken Spoke. So we're gonna try to stay away from like the main street and all that kind of area, and then just kind of venture out to see everything else Daytona has to offer.
There you go. Yeah, Cabbage Patch is fun. It's a nice ride out there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And
a buddy of mine was telling me about the Cabbage Patch wrestling, and he's like, "You should totally do it." And I was like, "You know what? I might just do that." So maybe we'll make a debut in wrestling at the Cabbage Patch this year.
Well, they only do it on I think Wednesdays. They do it.
Oh, that's a bummer. I won't be there on Wednesday. Never mind. I guess I won't be making a debut at wrestling.
Sorry to cut your dreams.
The coleslaw.
Yeah, exactly. He's like coleslaw and oil. I was like, that sounds absolutely disgusting, but let's try
it. Well, if it's hot and it's got it smells pretty bad.
I can imagine.
It's entertaining. The Cabbage Patches, it's just a huge field, and it's not that big. And the Cackleberry is right across the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty popular campground, so that's fun to be. Cabbage Patch at night's probably your best bet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just during the day is kind of slow and nothing really going on, but at night there's more stuff going on. Then across the street at the campground, you got everybody, partying. So it's
all right. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, we usually lose the bikes at night and then just kind of Uber everywhere. So because I'm not a fan of drinking on the bike like at all. Like that's my hard limit right there. So.
Yeah, especially not in Daytona. It's not even worth it.
No, it's really not. And the cops are out there like crazy too, so.
Yeah, we stay at it's like the top of Main Street right on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So we leave in the morning, we go riding all day, and then we come back and walk down to Main Street just to.
That's pretty much what we did the past 3 times that we went. And so I was just like, I don't know, maybe we'll try venturing out. Because we usually get an Airbnb, not to like put out my secrets or anything, but the Airbnbs are so much cheaper than hotels.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, yeah, if I was in charge of putting it together, but my buddy Todd, the same old story. He's got his sister's got to share timeshare and blah. So
it's not terrible. A timeshare is still pretty, like it's almost like an Airbnb. You got like your kitchen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we stay at the Wyndham, so it's like the Ocean Walk. So it's like a 2-bedroom suite, whatever they call it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's like $400 a week.
That's not bad at all, honestly.
No. So I think Monday, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd is the Hangover show. It's at Orlando Harley Davidson.
Okay.
That's gonna be good. I'll be there. That's where I'll be for that show.
Okay, well we could probably definitely swing over there.
Yeah, that's a good show. I'm just trying to think if you're only gonna be there for the first weekend, trying to think of things for you to do.
So the last time we went to Bike Week, we went on like the last weekend, and I feel like we missed like everything. Like the last weekend, like nobody was doing anything. Well, there were some things going on, but there wasn't a lot of things. It felt like everything was in like the first week. So I was like, well, this year, let's go in the first week and see if we can't catch more things.
Yeah, I agree. First weekend is definitely a little less crowded, and everything's going on. Mm-hmm. And then Monday, Tuesday, dead. And then by Thursday, Friday, everybody packs in. And then Sunday, it's a ghost town.
Yeah, it's wild. Last year when we went, it was so packed. Like you couldn't even walk down Main Street. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah. As I get older, I'm not really a fan of that.
I can agree to that. That's kind of why we didn't want to do it this year. Because I was just like, there was so many fights that we saw last year. So I'm just like, that's not the scene that I'm really into in my life anymore.
Yeah, well, you're not going to catch me at Froggy's at 1 a.m., so...
Froggy's is pretty wild at 1 a.m.
It is. Yeah. But I must say, the people watching on Main Street, me and my buddy Edwin, we can just stand there for hours and just, and like, you just take it all in.
Oh, absolutely. It is definitely a good people watching spot for sure.
For sure. So what other events you have planned for this year besides Daytona?
We've got like our annual county fair that comes around in January. So they actually have like a bike parade. So you get to ride through the fair. So that's on January's plan. And then that's really like all we have. Like Laconia is our big one that we're going to do this year. And then hopefully like riding through Vegas a little bit. But other than that, we don't really have anything like planned other than just like little weekend trips.
Right on. Yeah, Laconia, you're going to like Laconia. So I'll keep in touch. I'll send you guys on some good routes. You can do the Kangamangas.
Absolutely, yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, so there's
you got to
definitely
ride
good
out.
ride.
You got to ride out to Bentley Saloon. You got to do that. It's probably worth it to hit the oh my God, Brian, Iron Tail Saloon.
Iron Tails.
Trying to blank, and we love that place too. But like the last time we went there, we went. Was it September? Bentley's was packed. I mean, it was packed. There were tons and tons of bikes there. An hour later, it cleared out. We went up to Iron Tail Saloon, and it was like a ghost town. And it was warm during the day that day that we went out there. When you come to Laconia, plan more like riding. Like downtown's not really that exciting.
Yeah.
It's pretty spread out.
Well, I'm good with that. That's kind of how the Smoky Mountain Bike Week was too. Like it was just all riding. Like we hung out at Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson. And they had like a band and like barbecue and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's like everybody was pretty much heading out to their rooms around like 10, 11 o'clock. And that was it. It's pitch black out there. You can't freaking see anyways.
Yeah, same up here.
Yeah.
But, Laconia is a good time. I don't know. Like I said, it's 30 minutes from my house, so it's, I'll go up there for a couple of days, but it's nothing really. I don't really look forward to it, but I can see the appeal. The riding's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that if you guys do that regularly, how it wouldn't just be like, that's kind of how I feel about Daytona. It's like Daytona's cool to go and party and everything like that, but it's like the riding is just, it's kind of the same as it is down here.
Yeah. So, did you ride any other bikes before you got your Road King, or you just?
Nope. I still have not ridden any other bike other than my Road King.
Really?
So I'm kind of afraid to ride another bike and like another bike better than my Road King, and then my husband's gonna be like, "Oh, we gotta spend more money on a bigger bike," because he's got a Road Glide, and he keeps telling me, he's like, "Babe, just take it around the block." And he's like, "You're gonna love it," and I'm like, "That's what I'm afraid of. That I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, now I want a Road Glide instead." And so I'll just stick with mine. Like I like it.
Well, you should go on like Sunday morning when it's really slow. So Daytona at the Speedway, Harley Davidson set up. You can do a demo ride. So you can just demo ride any of their bikes. It's not like a guided tour. You just go by yourself and ride the bikes and get a feel for any other bike. But
yeah, but then I probably like another bike because I've got my bike's like a 2010. So I'm gonna like another bike, and then that little like bug is gonna get stuck in my head, and I'm gonna be like, okay, maybe I could sell this bike, and we can get another bike, and I don't know. I'm content where I'm at right now.
Oh, I hear you. Trust me, I bring down a 1988 FXR to Daytona, so like I'll go ride a brand new Lowrider ST or a brand new Road Glide, then I'll jump back on that thing. I'm like, oh, this thing's slow. But.
Wait, is that breaking news, Brian? That's what's going to Daytona, the FXR?
Yeah, I think so.
Not bringing the Road Glide for all those long Florida rides?
Nope. Well, like I said, the Road Glide came 2 years ago when we went to Key West, Danny.
Nice.
Yeah, so we went a week before and we rode all the way down to Key West and then came back up for Bike Week.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so have you been to Key West? I'm sure.
So I've only ever been to Key West once in my entire life, and I've lived in Florida for 36 years. Yeah, so we talked about going in October for Fantasy Fest, and we were going to ride the bikes down there for Fantasy Fest, and that just like never materialized. But no, I was told that there's not a lot of good riding down there, like other than just like once you get like over like the 7 Mile Bridge, like that's it. Like that's not any good riding after that.
Yeah, so we rode down there and pretty much parked the bikes for the whole day and just rented a golf cart and cruised around, got some key lime pie and drank at the bars.
Yep.
But yeah, it's not good riding down there.
Yeah. I would honestly say once you get past West Palm Beach, going south, you're pretty much hitting city. Like there's really nothing too much out here other than just city now.
We booked a place near Lake Okeechobee.
Okay, that's out where I'm at. I'm very close to Lake Okeechobee.
Yeah, so like I watch all these like they have the mud racing at Lake Okeechobee, all these cool things about Lake Okeechobee. And we get there and I'm like, I can't even see the place. It's got this huge wall around it. It was either I was staying in the wrong spot.
I would say you're staying in the wrong spot because a lot of, if you like on my page, all of my like sunset pictures, they're all from Lake Okeechobee.
Really?
Yeah, I go out there once or twice a month because it's a 30-minute ride for me. So I'll go out there, I see the sunsets, and then I come back. So I think you might have been staying on the wrong side of the lake.
We were down towards the bottom of it, so like in between like Key West and Lake Okeechobee, like was above us.
Okay.
I'll see. Jim, fill in some time. I'm going to see if I can figure out what town we stayed in.
I want to hear about this Road King. So you got is it a 2010 Road King? How was it? Pretty stock when you got it, or
so it was a police edition.
Nice.
We found it on Facebook Marketplace in Sarasota for like $4,500. And my husband's like, it didn't have bags or anything like that. It was all red. So the tank color that I have right now is what the entire bike was.
Okay.
He showed it to me and I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, this will be a great bike. He's like, it's $4,500. He's like, even if we dump like 10 grand into it, he's like, it's nothing. Right. I'm like, all right, whatever. So got that, never rode it. He went over to Sarasota, picked it up, came home. It was raining. I didn't ride it for like a week. Learned on that. And then we just started adding stuff to it. So he's like, what color do you want it? I was like, well, I definitely don't want freaking fire engine red. So I was like, the easiest color to change over to would just be black. So that's when we started adding like all the black to it. So we started off with TCMT bags and the front and rear fairing. No, not fairing, fender. So we started with those. Then we got KST handlebars. See, I'm trying to think where we went from there. Hold on, I've got my list because I knew I would forget. We ended up doing a Hogworks lowering kit on the back because I was like tiptoeing it, and that was terrifying to me because we live the way our house is. We're on an incline, a gravel incline to that. So it's like I'm tiptoeing this bike out of our gravel driveway, and that was the reason why I fell multiple times. We put a Screaming Eagle intake on it. What else did we do? Recently, what we just did was... we put a cam chest kit into it, a 574. And then what else did we do? He just bought me ODI Heartlook grips as well too. So we're just kind of like changing little pieces out here and there, like nothing super crazy.
Yep, there you go. That's the way to do it. A little bit at a time. Keep riding it. You don't want to take it down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we've dumped maybe $4,000 total into it. So not too bad.
Yeah, I like those police bikes. I had a police bike before.
So I will say the police bike has there's so many wires that we've been having to like delete and cut out, and it's just like there's so much extra on the bike that we don't really need.
Yeah, you know, my 99. It was a 1999 police bike. It had like 95,000 miles on it, but it was a Massachusetts state police bike. So the color scheme was so cool. Mm-hmm. It was blue and dark blue and light blue.
Oh, nice!
It was pretty cool. So,
yeah, this was a Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was the color.
Yep.
The color on yours was what gravitated. Okay. Yeah, no, this was a Baton Rouge from Louisiana bike, and I mean, I love it so far.
Good.
I think we're going to do what?
No,
I was going to say, do you? Oh,
first guest we've had that had notes on their bike, Jim.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous as heck. Like, I have never done a podcast. I've never even used my camera on my computer before. So I told my husband, I was like, I'm going to need to write this down and completely forget about this.
I like it. I know I told Jim, I said we should have sent you some of the questions we were going to ask you, but not like we're that prepared. But
nah, I mean, the questions haven't been bad. Like, honestly, like he told me, he was like, it's just going to be like bullshitting around. So, I mean, like, that's cool. It's just,
the vibe we try to get with this podcast, just hanging out in the garage, talking about our bikes. You know, if the bikes are sitting there, we talk about them.
Yeah.
But, hey, I like it. Jim's reading. What do you got, Jim?
I was just checking our notes. Look how prepared we are. I don't know let me say, are they going to show up or are they going to blare out? Those are all our notes. So we like to pretend that we're prepared.
Well, these are mine, so I mean, I'm not too much better. So just
we can at least see yours.
Well,
do you have a favorite thing that you did to your bike though? Is there like one thing that you did and you were like, oh yeah, that was the right decision. I really love this.
The fairing. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, it completely changed the look of my bike, and I love the way it looks now. Before, like, I didn't like, what I really didn't like is I felt like the bike was like, it was a big bike, right? And then it goes like really, really, really tiny into the front. And I hated it. I hated the way, even with like, the Memphis Shades was nice. It was a nice fairing, but it just didn't give my bike like anything. I just felt like it fell flat on its face when it got up to like the front of the bike. So that's probably my biggest thing that I love about it.
I can see that. You have plans on painting the tank black, or are you going to keep it red?
So my tattoo artist, I've actually talked to my tattoo artist, and him and I are going to collaborate on something, and I think he's going to airbrush the bike, and we're just going to keep it like black and red somehow.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing some sort of like graffiti paint on the bike.
Yep.
And just the letters that I have right now with my Instagram name are like graffiti font. And I really like it. So I was like, oh, let's incorporate more graffiti type designs onto the bike. So he's coming up with something.
There you go. I never even thought of that. Tattoo artist to do that. Yeah, I guess he'd be the one to do it. Right?
Yeah, I asked him, I was like, have you ever painted a bike before? He's like, no. And I was like, okay. And he's like, but I'm willing to try. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, I'm in love with all of his work. So I was just like, let's just do it.
Yeah, I follow this guy on Instagram, McKeg Art. And he does like these badass tattoos, my style, like old school biker tattoos and stuff. And he also paints bikes too, and it's
nice,
some good stuff. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I said the Left Lane Syndicate. Did you have that sticker on your bike on your helmet?
I do. Yeah, I got that up in Tennessee. So that is like the big thing down here. Like, everybody just freaking rides in the left lane, and it's just like, it irritates me. So I thought it was like kind of funny. So I put that on the front of the bike.
Yeah. Well, so did you ever see that yield sign that they have? It's all painted up different. I think it's a actual T-shirt, like the yellow yield sign.
Okay. I know that up there in Tennessee, they were giving away a sign. I never got to see it, so it might be that you're talking about.
Well, yeah, that he did all the artwork on that.
Oh, that's cool. So, okay.
Yeah. But anyways.
Very nice.
I'm going to get another tattoo on Wednesday, Jim, just to let you know.
Oh, that's
well,
good.
I can definitely tell you that the hand so far has been the absolute worst tattoo spot ever. And it's because I have to go get it retouched up, and I'm just like, I'm dreading it. Absolutely dreading it.
That's where my next one's going, right on my hand, right here, right on the back of the wrist.
Oh, yeah, so this was like, I did like the whole hand the other day, and that, like, the fingers, oh my God, it felt like he was sawing my fingers off. It was absolutely terrible. Yep. I highly suggest numbing cream.
Yeah, come on.
No, I told him, I was like, so I have a really big one on my hip, and he did numbing cream, and I literally fell asleep. Like, it was amazing. Don't know why I forgot about it this time, but I told him, I said, when I come back for my retouch, I said, you're putting numbing cream. I said, because this is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I do not like tattoo paint. I love the way tattoos look. Hate the paint.
Yeah. I mean, I got my whole arm done. I think around my elbow was like, I couldn't even take it. Like,
see, that's why you need numbing cream.
I can't.
That spot, like right here, like right, that like, so I had some stuff touched up on my arm, and then, some stuff added to it. And he just did like a little bit up here, and that like one spot right there, it hurts so bad.
I have like a huge wing that goes across my back, and the tip of the wing kind of goes like right over my spine. When he was doing that, I thought like somebody was just shoving a needle like all the way down my spine into my hips. And I was like, what are you doing to me? It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I hate tattoo painting.
Oh, well, I mean, girls in general, like, they have better tolerance to pain than guys. We're wimps. We don't like that stuff.
I mean,
that's true.
I guess we just don't really have a choice, I guess, in the matter. Like, we just have to do a lot of things, I guess, in a sense. Like, it just happens. But no, tattoo paint's completely different. Tattoo paint sucks. Just plain out sucks.
Yeah, it's good in the end, but
yeah, that's why numbing cream was invented, because I'm telling you, you put some numbing cream on it. I told my tattoo artist, I said, if I'm ever knocked unconscious and I'm in a coma, I said, please, you have all of my designs. I was like, just go in there and go for it. Just chew me up, like head to toe, do all my tattoos.
They frown on that.
I'm sure they do. They frown on everything in the hospital. You can't have fun in the hospital.
No, that's a true story. So I wanted to ask you, so your Instagram, did that start as kind of like your personal, I just want to share my life, or did you have kind of a goal when you started your Instagram?
So my Instagram started with, it was just my life, and it actually, my original one got deleted. So somebody reported me for some sort of spam, and I went back and forth with Instagram, and they never reactivated my account. So this second one I started it back in, I think, October. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to kind of keep my family off of this one as much as I can. And I'm just going to make it bike related. So I don't really have a goal per se about my Instagram, but growing it will be good.
So I think I found you because I was following your friend, and she posted like, hey, go give my friend a like and follow her. And that's how I started following you. And I was, and Brian and I were kind of talking about it. Like, there's a lot of women riding now, like way more women riding than ever were before. And I just think it's a really cool thing because now younger women are being exposed to it. Young girls, they're like, it's a norm, and we're opening up the motorcycle community to just a bigger audience, And I love seeing that.
Absolutely. I actually joined Do what?
I say you can ask your husband. It's way more fun having you ride next to him than on the back.
So it's funny because I used to talk to him on the bike, right? And now we don't talk like at all. And he's always like, I kind of want to take the car because we don't ever get to talk anymore. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But it is a lot more fun. Because he was always like, you must be bored on the back. And I was like, well, I mean, kind of. Definitely not bored now.
Now it's a different experience, but I didn't really know. I wanted to ask you about that, if that was really kind of a goal of yours, if it was just kind of like a byproduct. But I just, like, I see like my own personal daughter, she's 14 and she's terrified of motorcycles, but I'm showing her pictures of you, and I'm showing her pictures and videos of other people. And I'm like, look, this is growing. This is something you can do if you want to. And she's kind of,
so both of my daughters think that I ride an old person bike. So.
Because you don't have a sound system.
Yeah. No, they like the sport bikes, and they're like, "Why don't you have a cool bike like a sport?" Yeah. And I'm like, I don't, because I was like, "There's no need for a sport bike in Florida." Like, I understand why people like them, but there's not roads here that you can go hundreds of miles an hour. Like, it's just like there's too much city here.
Well, and you're not turning. That's the most fun about riding a sport bike, is turning.
Yeah, correct. Like, we're just flat roads here. We actually just had a really bad accident where I was at, and the dude was going like well over 100 miles an hour, ran right into a Tesla. Ooh. Yeah. So it's just like there's nothing out here for that type of speed, honestly. Like, it's just it's way too populated out here. I mean, even on the Harleys and stuff like that, I mean, the amount of population out here, it's crazy. Like, you always have to be on guard out here.
They need to make lane splitting legal in Florida.
I honestly don't. I think it is. I don't know if it is or it's not. I'm terrified of doing it, so I've never looked into it.
I think California and maybe Texas.
Okay.
Or Utah are the only states that allow it.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I have no idea. Like, my husband said something to me about it. I'm like, I'm good. I'll ride the shoulder. Like, I would ride the shoulder. But I don't know about lane splitting, because down here, people are ruthless. Like, they'll freaking just open up their damn doors on you because they don't think you have the right to be in front of them.
Oh, yeah. Florida's ridiculous. But I'm saying, if you were commuting to work, say, sitting in like stop and go traffic, you kind of crawl through the middle. That I'd do that. But yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't do 40 miles an hour in between parked cars. Like,
dude, I follow a few people on Instagram, and I watch some of their videos, and they're freaking flying in between semis, and I'm just like, whew, I don't know. Maybe when I have some more experience under my belt, but definitely not anytime soon. I was just like, that's terrifying to me.
Yeah, that gets a little sketchy.
Yeah, for sure. But I actually joined when I first got the bike last year, I joined a girl motorcycle gang, as my husband calls it, Stilettos on Steel.
Oh yeah.
So today was the first time that I've ever actually ridden with them, and it was really cool because there's so many women, and it's definitely breaking us out into the motorcycle community for sure.
Yeah, well, that's like one of my notes I had. Like, then I found out that you're only been riding for a year, but have you ever heard of Babes Ride Out?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna see if you ever did that, because that looks really cool. There's like just all girls.
All girls, yeah. A few of my girlfriends did it last year, and I was trying to go, but it was just like the timeline just didn't work with my schedule.
Is it only in California, or where else is it?
No, I could have sworn that they rode up to New York, from here to New York. I think that's what last year's was here to New York.
Okay, so that must be this year's. I think I saw the flyer. It was for in California. They start there. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't looked into it.
But yeah,
my kids make it a little bit difficult for me to do like long distance things. Yep. I mean, they're getting to the age where I can leave them home by themselves, but I just don't feel comfortable for like weeks on end. I just feel like a bad mom at that point. I'm like, I'm gonna go ride my bike. You guys get to school by yourself. I'll have fun. Yeah, I do.
Fend for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be nice sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
Finally at the point where I can leave my son for like 3-4 hours by himself and like go ride.
Oh, so you have a little kid?
Yeah. Well, two kids, 10 and 11.
10 and 11. Okay, yeah. Mine are going to be 16 and 13. So they're definitely like at the age where I can go away or something. But I kind of feel bad where I'm like, I'm going to go have fun. You guys are stuck here at home eating chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I know. But they love Xbox so much that it's like they don't care.
They don't even know you're gone.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very true. I think it's more of a me personal guilt than anything, because it's just like, here you guys go. You have the Wi-Fi and everything, and they're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's all they need. I tried buying them dirt bikes. They don't want to go outside.
No, they don't. They really don't. It's trying to get them to go outside is like the hardest thing in the entire world. And they're always making fun of me because I'm like, you guys need to go outside and get sunshine and get grounded with nature. And they're just like, why are you so weird, Mom?
Yeah, I know. I tell my kids, I'm like, I was never inside. If my dad ever bought me a dirt bike when I was your age.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, I used to rollerblade everywhere. Like, that was my thing, right? Like, I didn't bike ride. I would rollerblade everywhere. I didn't think anywhere was too far to rollerblade. I can't get these kids to just walk down to the damn stop sign. They're like, oh I gotta walk.
So, was your dream job to work at Sonic?
Actually, I wasn't a dream job. It was definitely a job that I wanted to do. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. But they don't do that down here anymore. I've only seen one Sonic, and I think it was in Orlando that they actually rollerblade at.
We just got Sonics up here probably 5 years ago, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah,
we haven't had them that long.
For my first 10 years going to Daytona, I would hit restaurants that we don't have up here.
Yeah.
And that's what the food was just great down there, because we didn't have Zaxby's. We don't have those.
I've never tried that. I've never tried that place.
And for the longest time, we never had Hooters, so we go to Hooters.
So you know where I spent Christmas? My Christmas dinner was at Hooters this year. Oh, yeah. I swear to God, it was an event. It was a Christmas to remember for sure. But yeah, that's funny. So the Sonics down here are terrible. Like where I'm at, absolutely terrible. Like they look like the most sketchiest, drug-ridden places ever. So I don't know. Hopefully your Sonic is better.
Well, there's only one. It's over near Boston, so it's decent because it's new.
Yeah.
But
Brian, there was a Sonic in Wilmington.
Oh, that's right.
Over past where the old Wilmington Ford was.
Yeah, you're right. Right.
And it got so many complaints. It was only open like a year and a half.
Oh wow!
And it's long since gone.
Yeah, and we had a Krispy Kreme. We had one Krispy Kreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And nobody in New England liked their coffee, so they were bounced.
Wow, I think the only Krispy Kreme that's down here anymore, I think it's down in Fort Lauderdale. They got rid of those.
Right, they got rid of those.
Mm-hmm.
But my absolute favorite, which we don't have any up here, there's one. The closest one is 6 hours away, and when we leave to go to Daytona, we're in Georgia at 5 a.m. And if I don't hit a Waffle House, then it's not the same.
Oh, we don't. Well, down in West Palm, we don't have Waffle Houses either.
You don't?
No. We don't have any cool northern stuff down here. It's not like McDonald's and... So I love Wawa. Do you guys have Wawa?
Nope.
No.
You don't have Wawa? Oh, that's
Nope.
my gas station that I go to all the time.
We don't have Wawa. We don't have Buc-ee's. We don't have anything cool.
Well, so the closest Buc-ee's is Daytona, so that's pretty far for me.
Yeah, okay.
I went a couple years in a row to a pool tournament in Pennsylvania, and we lived at the Wawa. Like everything you need, you know, hot breakfast, hot lunch, everything you need was at the Wawa.
I honestly like Wawa better than Buc-ee's. Like, so I like Buc-ee's beef jerky, like hands down the best. But I'm not a huge fan of their food. I like Wawa's food better.
Yeah, their pulled pork sandwiches, they're not as great as everybody says.
No, they're really not. They're honestly not. And then I would get like the chicken fajitas. Like the fajitas are all like soggy and nasty, and I'm just like, I'll stick with the beef jerky. And
nothing worse than a soggy sandwich. Ugh.
Oh, terrible, absolutely terrible. Like I cannot eat a soggy sandwich. Like it's just not happening.
No. Wait, so I got to go back to this Waffle House thing so there's no Waffle Houses. So probably south of Lake Okeechobee. There's none up north. So where the heck are all these Waffle Houses in between?
They've got
Daytona and Maryland, probably.
I guess. I mean, unless there's a Waffle House that I don't know about, because my first Waffle House experience was in Georgia. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's any down here. They're just hiding out.
That's the thing, because we drive down every Daytona, and in Georgia we'd stop at a Waffle House, and we could never find the same one twice. So we were thinking, there's got to be so many of them down here.
That's funny.
But the Waffle House. Now I'm getting hungry just thinking about the Waffle House.
I had to look this up because I went to Waffle House in Orlando. There is a Waffle House supposedly in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I just know. I know the closest one to us, Jim, is like 6 hours, and it's in Maryland.
I know. Well, you got to go to back home and go to the TD Waffle and squint.
It's not even close. Waffle House, the thin waffles is where it's at. That's why, and the fights you see.
That is freaking wild. Like I could not imagine just like casually eating breakfast, right? Whether it's even at 2 a.m. or 8 a.m. and then just a wild fight breaks out. Like I'd be like, all right, time to go.
Yeah,
you just kind of weave your way through because you're trying to get.
I just want to know, like, what is going on with the drama in the Waffle House? Like, I've never experienced that much drama in my entire life. Like, what is it about the Waffle House that just brings everybody?
Well, I think it's the guy's baby mama is working overtime and he's pissed off. So he comes down to the store to get his free waffle, and she's talking to some other guys.
But like, why doesn't that happen at like a Denny's or an IHOP? Like, those are all like 24-hour like restaurants as well. You don't see the kind of drama there.
Well, so up here, that's what happens in the IHOP and the Denny's.
Oh, really?
Because everything in Boston, it pretty much shuts down at 2:00. So New England, it's like 2:00. So when everybody's hammered, they go to a Denny's or an IHOP at 2:30, 3:00 in the morning. So that's where the drama happens up here. We don't have a Waffle House for them to go to. Like if you had to choose between the three, you would probably go to Waffle House over IHOP or Denny's. We just don't have those options up here. So they go to Denny's and IHOP.
I might be so like detached from the city life that I don't know what's going on at the Waffle House and Denny's.
Right.
I'd like
2 a.m. So I'm past that stage.
I'd like to be detached from it.
I will admit, the only time I eat pancakes at 2 a.m. is when I'm in Daytona at the IHOP. So
I can agree. I think that was the last time I ate pancakes at 2:00 in the morning too. Was last year at Daytona.
Yeah, like I said, we walk down to Main Street, and on the walk back from Main Street to the hotel, there's an IHOP.
Nope.
They go, why not some pancakes?
I mean, when you've been out drinking, that's the thing. Like I don't really go out drinking anymore. So I scaled that back a lot recently, and so it's just. And then I live west in the rural. I can't say that rural area. That's the only bit left in West Palm. So there's really not much out here. We've got like our one local little dive bar, and that closes I think at like midnight.
How far is Alligator Alley from you?
Not far. I don't believe.
Have you been down it?
Like on the bike? No, I haven't.
I'm just curious because everybody I asked, they say there's no alligators on Alligator Alley. So
there's alligators everywhere else, though.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Like there's definitely a lot of. I've hit an alligator in a car before, so
really,
yeah. So funny story. I was a cop for about like 5 years, and I was actually bringing a person out to the jail that's out in like Belle Glade area, and it was mating season, and I hit an alligator like head on, and the guy in the back seat thought he was like screaming. He's like, "You're trying to kill me!" I was like, "I'm not trying to kill you, I promise." I was like, "It was just an alligator," and it was pretty wild.
Really?
Is Alligator Alley the spot between like Fort Lauderdale and Naples, like that?
I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick because I've heard of it, but I don't really know exactly where it's at. Let's see.
Yeah,
because there's that stretch. It goes from Fort Lauderdale over to Naples, and it's supposedly, I think it might be through. I'm ignorant on Florida a little bit, but it might be through part of the Everglades.
Yeah, so it's just east of Naples. I'm a Floridian. I don't know this.
Yeah, so that's what it probably is, that stretch that I'm thinking of. Because when we were down in Fort Lauderdale, we were talking about renting a car and driving through it, and I was kind of like, I'm not gonna rent a car to go drive to Naples and turn around and come back, like just on the hopes of seeing an alligator.
Oh, I can show you a few canals that just like we would go on motorcycle rides and you just count them, and we'd get up to like 20, 30 alligators just in the canals. So I got better places other than Alligator Alley for you if you want to see some alligators.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because people were talking about riding Alligator Alley, and then all the other comments were like, you won't see one there. So
I did a ride by myself out to like Lake Okeechobee, and I decided that I was going to go the long way home. And it was like right at that point where like the sun had just set, but there's still a little bit of like orange left in the sky, but there's no sun left in the sky. And I was coming around a corner, and there was a humongous freaking alligator in the roadway. And thank God I had a little guardian angel, because I just like pulled over into like the other lane, like oncoming traffic, to get away from this alligator. Thank God there was no cars. I like sat on the side of the road. My heart is like pounding. I called my husband. I was like, I just almost hit an alligator on the bike. And he's like, Jesus Christ, dude. He's like, please don't do that. They're out here back where I'm at.
Yeah, well, that's like up here at Laconia. So at night you got to watch out for deer because they're everywhere.
And that's crazy. My dad lives in Ohio, and he hit a freaking deer, and it destroyed his car. I couldn't imagine like hitting a deer.
Yeah, they destroy. But now I'm thinking, like, would I rather hit an alligator or a deer on a bike?
Neither.
I wouldn't want it either. But if I had to choose,
did you see the video? I was just like something I was like scrolling on Instagram. Did you see the freaking horse that just like, I think it was somewhere in Florida, and the horse just came running across the interstate and like just knocked the dude off of his motorcycle?
I have not.
I didn't see
feel like
that
I saw that, but no, I can't picture it.
It was freaking wild. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, this freaking horse just comes galloping and jumps across him and hits him in the face and knocks him off his bike.
Yeah, that's what worries me about Laconia, because it is dark out here.
Yeah.
And for a deer will just walk across the street like it's nothing. And I've never hit a deer in a vehicle or a bike or anything, except for I had a deer. I was a truck driver too, and I had a deer bounce off my trailer.
Holy shit.
That was it. That was the only experience I've ever had. I see them every day when I leave my house. They're in my backyard right now, probably.
Nice.
But I see them all the time, but I've just never had to hit one in the car.
Ugh.
There's a good video. It's older now, but it's two bikes, and the bike in the back has like a GoPro, and the deer comes like right up and jumps over.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a few deer, but one really kind of launches over.
I think I've seen that. Terrifying. Yeah, that's freaking wild, dude. Yep. Like, just I know one of my girlfriends, when she rode through like Montana, and they had like the big bison or whatever crossing the street, and I was like, holy crap, dude! Like, that's wild.
That's when I go to Sturgis, I want to see some buffalo. I've been to Sturgis, but not on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
So quick backstory. So I live in New Hampshire. My buddy found a bike in Montana on eBay that he wanted to buy.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having it shipped to us, he's like, let's just drive out there and see it in person. So I was like, all right. It took us like 3 days to get out to Montana.
Nice.
And we stopped at Sturgis on the way home and saw it all. But I can't wait to go back for bike week. But anyways, we were looking for buffalo, obviously in the wrong spot because we didn't see any.
That's usually how it works. Like, when you want to see the animal, it doesn't happen. Like, at all. Like, I was dying to see bear. Like, everybody was like, oh, when you go up to Maryville, there's going to be so much bear. Like, it's like their bear season. And I was like, please let me see a bear. I didn't see one freaking bear.
Yeah, well, that's how it is up here in New Hampshire. Moose, moose crossing signs everywhere. I always tell my kids, no, they're huge. But I tell my kids that those signs are fake. They don't really exist because I've never seen one.
Yeah, I saw one.
I know you'd say. I don't believe you.
Remember the route you used to take in the truck when you would go out to Keene and you would go out Route 12?
Yep.
All right. So I was coming back from Lebanon, and I came down 91, and then I was going to go 12 through Keene back into when I lived in Gardner. And there's this, it's kind of dusk, and there's this car slowing down in front of me. And I'm like, it's a 60-mile-an-hour road. Why is this car slowing down? And as I caught up to it, there was a moose on the side of the road. On the side of the moose was like where they blew out the side of the mountain to create the road. So that moose was only going one way, and it was left if it panicked. So that's why the car slowed down. It was massive. It was way over we were in a minivan. It was way over the roof of the minivan.
Wow.
It was huge.
They're giant. Brake for moose is no joke, because you'll hit their legs and their whole body will come through the windshield. That's what happens.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
they
talk
say
about
that. Well, I'm just going to say this. They say that about riding out in Sturgis. Like night riding in Sturgis can be very dangerous because of the amount of wildlife out there. And they have, like we talk about white-tailed deer here, 180 pounds is a big deer. Out there, they got 250, 280. They got huge, huge animals out there compared to here.
That's crazy.
Do you do any hunting?
That'd be terrifying.
Do you hunter at all?
Nope. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I've just never done it. Never been in that realm of my life.
All my friends do. No.
Yeah. I've done fishing. I love fishing. Absolutely love fishing. But that's about as far as hunting.
Yeah, same here.
All right, so this is what I wanted to kind of bring up, because we were talking about kind of all these different restaurants and stuff like that. Like, other than the actual riding, that's the best part about being on a bike, is you just go and you find these places that you haven't experienced before, whether it's a restaurant, a bar, a store, a corner, a mom and pop, a little like food stand. That's the best part about being on a bike. You will go places on a motorcycle that you'd never go in your car, because the ride is so great. You just find these little places,
Correct. We found one. I honestly can't even remember what it was called now, but we found one. It was a little like mom and pop place going around at Lake Okeechobee. Place I would never ever go to. Like, I'm never gonna take a 2-hour drive out for breakfast. But the food was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then that was
I did that.
We went to lunch on the other side of Florida. Like, it was a 2-hour drive or 2-hour ride one way just for lunch. The place wasn't that great, but it was a nice ride.
So do you say you're home, do you go like, oh, I'm going to Google a restaurant in a city and then, okay, we're going to go to that restaurant? Or do you just go, I feel like riding to this city, and then you go there and you ride around? Like, what do you like to do?
I do a little bit of both. So,
okay.
Depending on where I want to ride. My husband loves riding north, like up into like Juneau and Hutchinson Island and everything. It's really pretty up there. So that will kind of do like a destination, and then I try to find a place like on the water. But every once in a while I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling like sushi, right, I'll just be like, all right, where's like a good sushi place that we've never been to, and at least an hour ride. Like, it's got to be at least an hour ride. I don't want to just do like a short little ride. So it just kind of depends on our mood.
Because I like to go, like, I'll decide on like kind of a general location, or and then as I get closer, I might pull over and look for something. If I'm not seeing anything as I'm riding along, I might look for like pizza or whatever it is I'm trying to get. But I like going to areas and just trying to kind of get lost a little bit and just seeing what I can find, what I stumble across.
Well,
I'm not like, I get nervous getting lost.
Well, yeah, you can get lost down there in Florida. No, it's all right. No, I'm saying a destination for me is key, because if I start riding, just riding, I'll be back home in 15 minutes. I need a destination.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I like having like a I don't care how far the destination is, but I do like to have a destination. I like somewhat of a plan going
For
forward.
sure. I agree.
Well, I do tend to like route myself towards like a familiar area. I just might take a different way to go. Like if I don't have a plan, I might say I'm going to go to a beach town, let's say, and do that. Like kind of take different roads or whatever to get there, but and see what I can find along the way. But yeah, if I didn't say like, oh, I'm just going to go out and ride aimlessly, yeah, I would do the same thing. I'd probably not ride very long.
Well, so we definitely take back roads like everywhere. Like very rarely are we ever on like the highway. That's usually if we have to get someplace like pretty fast. But other than that, we're like, all right, let's find a back way to get there, because our back roads are, I mean, they're definitely pretty decent. They're definitely decent riding areas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I try to stay off the highways as much as possible. They're just kind of boring to me.
Oh, they're boring and they're
So
congested and terrible.
Yeah.
So Brian's up in New Hampshire. He's in the heart of like really some amazing riding. And because of where he is, he can ride an hour and be in Vermont or an hour and be in Maine and never touch a highway. I'm in Rhode Island. I can get to Massachusetts and Connecticut. So, very easily without ever going on a highway. Rhode Island, like Western Rhode Island, Eastern Connecticut's not bad riding. Western Mass is not bad riding. But the only time I go on the highway is when I go see Brian, because it's, what is it? What do we say, Brian? It's like 2.5 hours to get to his house taking the highway. So if I took the back roads, that would be the whole ride, and we wouldn't hang out. We'd turn around. I'd turn around and come like right back home, because it'd be like a full day. It'd be 9 hours of riding if I took back roads to get to his house.
That's kind of how it is down here. Like when I go up to Titusville to visit She Glide, it's like if we take the highway, it's like a 2.5 hour ride. If I take the back roads, it's like a 4.5 hour ride. So I'm like, all right, let's just take the highway real quick so I can get up there, and then we'll ride when we get up there.
Have you ever been up to New England at all? Ever?
Nope. No, so I'm pretty excited.
Just Laconia will be. Yeah, nice. Right on.
Yeah. So the furthest north that I've been is Pennsylvania. We've got friends. Okay. We just in July we rode up in like the Poconos and stuff like that. So that was really pretty.
Yep.
That's nice. I've driven a truck through there. It's beautiful. I would love to take a bike through the Poconos.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was not familiar with the hills, and it was funny. I actually dropped my bike at the Harley Davidson in the Poconos, but it's like I'm up on a hill and I go to like cant the bike, and it was one of those like slow motion things, and I'm like, oh, we're going down, and this old lady comes like running over to me. She's like, can I help you? And I'm like, no, I got it, thanks. I was like, my ego's a little bit bruised, but I got it.
Yeah, well, that stretch there, that like it's like Western Maryland, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, up into the Poconos is amazing. I mean, the riding through there is got to be absolutely incredible. I've been in a truck, not on the bike, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. It wasn't like it was twisty turning, but it wasn't like sharp turns. So it was like very like windy roads, and it was like beautiful. Like when we did the Tail of the Dragon, and I was not impressed. Like I think the hype is so overrated. We actually got stuck like behind like a box truck. We're going like 30 miles an hour, like up the freaking mountain, and I was just like, I was bored. I was really bored.
Yeah, I heard that about the Tail of the Dragon too. It's kind of not what everybody thinks it is. It's
really not. It's like it was so overcrowded.
Yep.
You could barely get out of like second and third gear, and it was just like you're literally right on top of the person in front of you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard.
Yeah, so we heard that like 10 years ago it was kind of different. It's become so incredibly popular for motorcycles, cars, and police that it's not enjoyable anymore.
No. Well, they also, so we went up there right after the hurricane hit North Carolina. So a lot of the trucks, they were allowing bigger trucks to go through there because the other alternate routes were blocked off because the roads like washed out and everything. So there was huge trucks up there, and it was just not fun. It was not fun at all.
Yeah, they got hit pretty hard with that hurricane. So
Yeah, they did. I don't know if it's still closed, but they said that the Blue Ridge Parkway was like closed indefinitely because they had to do so much maintenance on it.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been reopened yet.
I haven't. Huh. I have to check that out before we head out there, Jim.
I wouldn't want to get stuck behind me in the truck. The Blue Ridge Parkway is something. So it's kind of funny the way that this podcast kind of came about. Brian and I 2 summers ago were like, we really wanted to do a trip. We wanted to go, and that was kind of the place we wanted to go to was the Blue Ridge Parkway. And then like I lost my job, got a new job, didn't have the time off, kind of kept talking about things, and the next thing you know, we're like, we should just record this. And you know, it kind of grew from the summer all the way through to like the next summer. And then we were like, yeah, we should just record it and just for fun and just something to do. And that's kind of how it started. But it's really kind of helped us like want to get out and do more and ride more and go see more places, you know?
Yep. And now we're on season 2. And this is the first episode of season 2. So we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, and we're like, I'm super fired up that you're here. Like, I told Brian, I'm gonna ask her to come on, and you said yes, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm like, I love your vibe. I'm just so happy.
I like read it, and I showed my husband. I'm like, babe, look at this message, and he's like, fuck yeah. He's like, you should do it. I'm like, I'm kind of honored. I feel honored that you asked me to do this. So thank you.
Yeah.
No, like, cause you know, like I've commented to you a few things, like stuff that like you put up and stuff like that, and I was like, she just seems really down to earth and not like you seem like a real person, someone that we really wanted to sit down and talk with. So I'm, you know, really grateful that you're here with us.
Well, I hope I lived up to the expectations.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So we're at like what, an hour and 15 minutes. So I want to give you an opportunity. Is there anything that you want to talk about, that you want to plug, your Instagram, anything?
Actually, I have a really personal request. If I could say this, my dad is battling leukemia right now, and he is up to 1 to 2 blood transfusions a day. It's basically keeping him alive until he can get his bone marrow transplant. And we really need blood. The insurance company doesn't cover the blood, and it's a lot. So if there's anybody out there that could possibly donate blood, he is A positive. So he can accept A positive, A negative, O negative, and O positive blood. And you can reach out to me. I don't want to put his information out like on this, but I'll give it to you personally. If anybody wants to reach out to me on my Instagram, which is Daniigirl152, I'll give you the information. You just do a direct blood donation, and then it would go to my dad.
So I got a question for that. So does the person have to be in Florida to donate the blood, or can they?
They can be anywhere. You just go to any blood bank or like the Big Red Bus, and you give them my dad's information with his date of birth and everything like that, and then they send the blood over to him. So the way a blood bank works, which I don't know if most people aren't familiar, if you ever donate blood, you have a blood bank. So if you ever need blood, it goes from your blood bank. If you've never donated blood, then they charge you for your blood, is basically how it comes down to it. I actually started donating blood 15 years ago when I needed a blood transfusion after my first daughter. And I think they charge you like $700 for a bag of blood. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But so that's how I got started. But yeah, so the more blood you donate, the more you have in your bank, so that if you ever need it, it's free because you've donated that much blood.
Gotcha. I never was sure how that works, so that's good to know.
But yeah, that's
real quick. I just want you to go ahead. I just want you to say one more time, because for people that didn't have a chance to write it down, just the types of blood that he can receive.
So it's A positive, A negative, O positive, and O negative. And then you can contact me on Daniigirl152. It's all one word. And I will give you my dad's information.
Right
awesome.
On. So,
well,
that's really all I got. I mean, I don't really know much else to talk about, unfortunately.
No,
we've reached our limit
sometimes.
No, I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you for taking the time on a Sunday night. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, guys. It was definitely fun and enjoyable. And you popped my podcast cherry.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And if you and your husband are in Daytona, hit me up on Instagram. We can go for a ride or something, or go to the
absolutely
hangover show.
Absolutely. Are you going to be there too, Jim?
Unfortunately, I can't make Daytona. Brian's going to be kind of pissed about this, but I just want a trip to Las Vegas for my pool team, and it's it's February 19th through March 3rd or something like that. So I got to figure out how to get the time off for that. After I'd been telling him for a year I can't take time off for Daytona. But
I see what your priorities are, buddy.
In my defense, it's a free hotel room, free airfare, and $700 spending cash.
Damn.
For the week. And if we win next weekend, I'll get like $1,400 in spending cash. So, I'm not getting that going to Daytona. So I gotta take that up. But I will not be in Daytona. I will be in Daytona in 2026 for sure. I will be, especially. If you're coming to Laconia, I'm 100%. I'm going to go up to Laconia anyways, but if you're coming, I definitely want to come up and meet you, meet your husband. I follow him on Instagram too. And, Brian and I don't think we really have much plans this year for Laconia, like just to hang out. Like, I don't think we're doing like a thing, right?
Yeah, no, just hang out. Maybe have a little party at my house in my garage or something, but nothing crazy.
So
yeah, no, I'll reach out.
And we're doing American.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Dani. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, real quick before we go, check us out. Check us out at the Ride Life podcast on Instagram, the Ride Life Brian, the Ride Life Jim, and the Ride Life podcast on YouTube. And go give Daniigirl a like on her Instagram, and please donate blood to her father.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good night.